on the bottom hand corner. The bottom right hand corner, it says, "You're bipolar." How do people blow us off, brush us off? See, these people who promised to help me gaslighted the fuck out of me. Exhibited non-stop narcissistic behaviors. How fucking sick do you have to be to get a hold of a victim and then make everything about you? Pretty fucking sick. Not just if you ask me. We teach men from birth that their job is to help women, to protect women, and to protect their children. We teach women at birth how to manipulate that part of what men are expected to do. Every single woman in America is dependent on men. Every woman in America is dependent on men. Is it that men aren't willing to train women in how to build their own houses or clean their own shitters? Is it that men aren't willing to teach their sons or daughters how to drop an elk, gut it, quarter it, turn it into jerky? What kind of a father doesn't know how to remove the backstrap from an elk? It's a good question. You can't provide for your family. You have to go to the grocery store. You're not going to get your hands dirty. I grew up in the system, but I also paid attention. I'm not one of those fools who thinks that meat is manufactured in a lab in the back of Safeway. The sheer number of women in the United States who don't have any grasp of where that meat comes from. This is an alarming statistic. Also, the number of women who don't know how to cook, who want to complain that men expect them to cook. No, if men expected you to cook, you'd know how to fucking cook. If men expected you to cook, you'd know how to cook. You expect men to buy you dinner. Men do buy you dinner. You give them a little bit of a sob story and they fucking owe you, don't they? Or, of course, you go give some sob story to a woman and we're all expected to just believe you because you said it. But does a man get that leeway? No, he doesn't. A woman is 11 times more likely to be a stalker. Men are more likely to be arrested and convicted. And there doesn't even have to be any evidence. 70% of those cases against males have literally no evidence of abuse. It's only abuse because she says so. She doesn't want to listen to reason or facts. What she's interested in is how she feels. When a man tells you to leave him the fuck alone, it means leave him the fuck alone. I don't give a fuck how that makes you feel. You leave him the fuck alone. Shannon Alvarado, Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, Maddie fucking Boa. When he says, leave me alone, it means leave me alone. It doesn't mean go spreading rumors because you were told no. It doesn't mean lie and slander the man. It doesn't mean lie about your involvement. Shannon Alvarado is a world-class piece of shit. That's the help we can expect from women. Being lied to, having a sandwich thrown at us. Bitch, I didn't ask you to get into the kitchen. I didn't ask you to make me a fucking sandwich. I didn't spend $900 for a fucking sandwich. I didn't travel there for you to lie to me every goddamn night and get drunk instead of keeping your word. And then you talk over me. And no matter what, you're going to manufacture 10,000 fucking excuses. Anything so that people might not believe that you're an alcoholic. Well, guess what? Natalie Marie Bollinger, she fucking died with heroin in her system. Did I tell the truth about her? Yes, I did. Did I tell the truth about Christine Buhit? Well, apparently, according to her tox report, yes, I did. Fucking fentanyl. There's a guy up here who claims to be a cop watch. He's real friendly with the cops, and he's very anti-hobo. He doesn't see them as homeless camps, he calls them fentanyl camps. Calls himself Oregon Night Watch. Fuck that fucking chump. The thing is, men are expected to do it alone. And a woman, her idea of helping a man is not help. Telling him what to do, what to think, and what to feel is not help. Making empty fucking promises and never keeping your word is not help. If you were abused and you went to a man for help, you would expect his help immediately. But then you're going to play stupid, like you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Bullshit. You've been watching men do it your entire life. You have been hiding behind men. Every time that you fuck up, you hide behind men and we fucking protect you. Enough of that. You're not going to protect us. You know exactly how. Fucking speak up now when it makes a fucking difference. Now. Immediately. Don't fucking claim that you're gonna and then fucking postpone it and blow me off for fucking literally goddamn years. And then pretend like you didn't know. You didn't know. No, every woman in America knows how to play fucking stupid. Just like every cop in America knows how to play stupid. Us men have to learn it from you assholes. You like how I said that? Anyway, I think I'm physically able to go into the library now. That's one of the things about sitting in my car. People think that I'm just being lazy. No, I do what I'm able to do. And when I'm not able, I do something else. The stalking by Sheriff Scott Costa and the citizens of Chapel, Nebraska was uncalled for and unnecessary. And it was all because the news didn't care about the validity of what they were saying. And the police knew they were lying outright, but who cares? They're police officers, right? You paint all hobos as violent, hateful animals. Well, with all due respect, we have every right and every reason to be hateful. Not everybody out here has a charmed life like you want to insinuate. When you want to interrupt someone whose experience out here is not your own, but you want to tell them it's all about how they think. Oh, if it's been proven that if you think about this, then blah, 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 you can control other people's actions. No, the fuck you can't. No, the fuck you can't. You're going to tell me that all these women out there who've been raped, that it's because they wanted to be raped? Because they were thinking about being raped? No, none of these women were being responsible when they did the stupid shit that they did. None of them were holding themselves up to the standard they hold us up to. What do we tell a woman who claims that she's been abused? It's a man's fault. It's not her fault. Oh, poor you. I'm sorry, honey. Well, we'll turn the piece of shit in. Right? What about when it's a man who's victimized? Oh, you just need to man up. You just need to take care of it yourself. Fuck you. The closest that you come to helping a man the way that a man would help you is to tell your boyfriend or husband to do it. Just so you know, there's women out here who didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit about none. What they did is they put on their big girl panties. And they actually helped out the way that a man would. Not sure if you noticed this, but it was a homeless woman just the other day who helped me push start my car. I'm not sure if you noticed, but despite the fact that it's been primarily brown people taking care of me, primarily brown people looking out for me. Tanner's a white guy. Hannah is a white lady. See, although oh, there's a fucking shitty vehicle there. Tillamook Adventist Health. Way to fucking commit felonies, bitches. Anyway, I'm going inside. I didn't see, Miss Susan yet. Darling Night's Delight typed hello again. How's your day going? Not that great. I'm about to be disconnected from you for a second. But if you could, stay on the line. There's a man in Scotland. His name is Daniel Appleton. And I can tell you the town that he's from. He's one of the people that's going to help me. It's going to show you care. All right, if you're a woman here, I don't recommend going to this place if you're having crimes committed against you, especially as a male, especially if you're homeless. But if you're a female in a house, they'll help you. They'll help you with a lot of stuff they won't help us out with. If you're a woman in this county and you live in a house, I highly recommend going to CARE. If you're homeless, you might want to think twice about it because they're not likely to treat you very well. They might smile at you while they lie. Well, I was going to backpack, but that works. They do have a shipyard here, but the real popular one is Bremerton Naval Shipyard. That's up in Washington State. There's also one in Bellingham. I'm not sure how many of y'all follow my History Channel stuff or any of that, but there's two types of aircraft carriers that America made during World War II that were light carriers. These things went about 20 knots, which is far slower than like the Essex class or, well, the later carriers. But they were mass produced, and one of them is the Bogue class, and the other is the Casablanca class. The Casablanca class, there were more Casablanca class carriers made than any other aircraft carrier in existence. There were over 50 Casablanca class carriers made, and there were 45 Bogue class carriers for a total of almost 100 aircraft carriers built in less than a 2-year period. Quite amazing. All the Japanese basically had 7, but they had fast heavy carriers. One of them, the greatest battleship ever built, apparently was the USS Yamato.
Just kidding, it was the IJNU motto, Imperial Japanese Navy. It was longer, wider, and heavier than the USS Iowa. And the Iowa-class battleships were huge. I'm not seeing who's in here. We did have it set up for Monday, but apparently it's not going to happen. We do have a civilian dockyards not far from here, up in Warrenton, Astoria area. That's really cool. Mostly they're disassembly area. I just came to snoop over your shoulder. One of them ID thieves.
I'm not watching any porn now. Just food porn.
Right, I'm the same way with jet engines. People are like, "Are you watching porn?" I'm like, "Yeah, Rolls Royce, Allison." Although I like the J series engines.
What's that?
I said I do like the J series engines. Oh, I'd love to get my hands on a ramp on nacelles. The Jet Ranger, very cool. It's got two Rolls Royce 250 engines in it. Oh, by the way, you did a very good job of handling him. Sometimes I do have.
Oh, he went off on me after you left.
Yeah, I know he came and told me. I was like, I try to be as patient as I can with him too. He can hold it together for a good hour and a half at a time sometimes, though.
Yeah, well, the drinking isn't good for him.
It's not.
Yeah, he needs to let that go because that affects him in a bad way.
Yeah, he goes from being a sane person to thinking he's seeing aliens.
Well, I can handle the aliens. I don't like the where he goes when he gets to this mindset that he's better than everybody else. And I can't deal with that. I don't have patience enough for that.
Yeah, the temper thing that comes along with it, and stage 3, kind of scary too.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that he is because of his natural size and that he is going to intimidate people, but it gets in his head that he thinks that he's better than everyone, and that's just not the truth. No, that's not safe for you to be having that attitude anyway.
Well, I don't think it's just the attitude. I think he's actually delusional enough to believe a lot of the stuff that he says about why he's not messed with. He doesn't quite understand his size has enough effect.
Yeah.
He is highly intelligent.
I would categorize it as not delusional. I would say it's self-deception.
Yes, I can give it that.
I don't think he's mentally ill. I think he's fine. I think he's just been alone a long time. There's
very
a lot
much
of people
could
that
be.
have that issue when they get to be by themselves for way too long.
Yeah,
Where it's like you don't have anybody else but yourself to talk to.
I know a lot
your
of
own
people
thoughts,
that will tell outlandish stories just because they want people that'll listen to them, and if they think if they have an exciting story, then people will want to be friends with them. Then you end up with somebody like me who gets too long.
believes what he says.
Oh, that would make it delusional.
Well, to the extent of when you're by yourself, you see things. All of a sudden, okay. So what was that I saw? I create an avenue for okay, to try to rationalize it, analyze it, break it all down. Because he does have he's very intelligent for his age.
He's also very sweet.
For not being real educated. He hasn't been educated by the world, so to speak, in a lot of ways. He's done all of his own learning, so I like him. He's a good kid, but I'm not going to let him belittle me. I'm not going to let him. I'm not afraid of him, so he's not going to intimidate me. But this whole thing of him being smarter and better, and it's It's an arrogancy, not a confidence.
Yeah. Well, the thing with me that made me kind of leery about being around him was when he started telling me about the aliens, and then telling me that he's got a charmed life because the government doesn't mess with him, they help him out, and that the aliens are something to do with it. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna come back when you're sober.
Right. At least when he's sober, he switches from the alien to the Sasquatch.
Yes. That was a good banter yesterday, by the way. I went back and listened to part of it. I was cracking up. I'm like, I shouldn't be laughing at that guy's jokes. I shouldn't be laughing at those jokes.
That was fun.
Sober, we were all funny.
I don't get a chance to just have regular conversations with people and have fun and laugh and stuff. It was a really good time, man. You know, so.
I took it in stages. As I was able to handle him, I did. I kept coming back because he is a good conversationalist. He is a lot of fun, and so are you. So
Yeah.
a lot of times we forget how to socialize, spending so much time out in the woods or so much time trying to avoid the down dregs part of this society.
Right. The interesting thing about running into him is I ran into him like a month ago in Lincoln City. He was hooked up with some crazy lady that we decided she liked it the way that he was, and so she was trying to use him so she could get all her stuff out of her house without, if he had to beat somebody up for her to do it, then it was like that was going to be good. And then she was going to take him to Washington so she could introduce him to her fucked up daughter that's strung out on meth, that he could go into her house, beat up her boyfriend, and pull her out. So she was wanting to use him as like this built-in bodyguard. And he saw through it. It took him a little while, but I only could stand her for about a day.
Well, thank goodness he was able to have that experience, because next time you'll know what to look for. I had to get screwed over by a lot of people that I thought were my friends, calling me up and saying, Sean, I'm afraid my boyfriend's going to beat me up or kill the kids. I need to move out of here. 2 weeks later, they're back in there talking about how they love him, and everything they said was somehow the story is different. I'm like, man, you put me at a lot of risk doing that. I'm also not as intelligent as he is, because I still rescue people. I don't follow social norms. I know that socially I'm only supposed to protect myself, women, and children. But if I see a guy getting taken advantage of out here, I'm going to do something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I've been around a month, swinging around a month, and then I run into him in Newport on my way back from California. I really don't like it with I don't throw the word divine encounter around, but it was definitely not a coincidence that I met up with him again. And I knew that God really wanted me to spend some time with him and just share some of my experience and wisdom with him. But it's hard because he thinks he knows everything already. Well, you don't. You're
That's
30
one of
years
the
old.
biggest problem I have. I don't know everything, and I admit that I don't know everything. But a lot of people like to think that I don't know everything about what's going on in my life, that's going on around me. I'm like, well, I'm not wearing blinders. I'm not walking around blindfolded with big old earmuffs listening to Metallica, so I have no idea what's going on around me.
No. The thing is, though, is that you can't. You gotta be teachable. You gotta at least be pliable somewhat. You gotta be bendable. You gotta stop telling me that to tell you something you don't already know, and listen to what I'm saying. Because I've actually been around a little longer than you, almost 2 lives. So you are one. So,
Oh, you're not that much older than me, but you definitely have different experiences than I have, and he probably doesn't remember what it's like being allowed to go ride your bike around the neighborhood.
yeah, right. Yeah, I want him to. Like to see him get stable. He has an opportunity to really do something with his life if he really actually would apply himself in a certain direction. But the thing is, if you think that you already got it all figured out, then you're just going to keep walking aimless. He doesn't need to live out here.
He does.
No, he's got a chance to really make something of himself. He
Well,
really wants to.
he's big enough and physically healthy enough. He can get a pretty decent job right now and earn between $20 and $30 an hour. If I could work, I would be. I mean, I love manual labor, and they're paying $30 in Portland for manual labor. I mean, oh my God! All growing up, I was getting paid $7.50 an hour for grunt labor. You know, that's one of the things about when they first started, you know, paying people more money. I'm like, I literally just screwed up my back in 2015, and after that, that's when everything started getting more and more progressively expensive. And I'm like, I can't take care of myself. People like, you could just get a job. It don't work that way.